What's up, guys? Today I wanted to go over how I made the song Empty Room, which is now out on all streaming platforms. I started this song 8 months ago with this piano arpeggio, which I'll show you now. So I ended up slowing that arpeggio down because I wanted to put some vocals over it. I kind of drew inspiration from Rain of Love by Coldplay. I think I was playing that song before this and before creating that. And I was like, oh, let me, try to create something similar that has a similar vibe to that song. So I got the amazing opportunity to play the best piano in the school. Me and my roommates kind of snuck in there, and that was a Steinway Grand, which was absolutely amazing to play. It was such a fun experience to be able to play a piano that's worth like $150,000. It's really awesome. Here, I'll play the unprocessed version. And I have this reverse piano that I made, which is just the intro piano reverse, of course. And I think it's kind of experimental, kind of opens up the song in an interesting way. Makes the listener very intrigued of what's going to happen. So this is what it sounded like originally. You can hear I added a lot of saturation and just some fix up EQ, taking out some of the lows, taking a lot of this over prominent 400 hertz here. Compression, of course, that comes on more in the chorus. This is the EQ that comes on in the chorus. And then we have a reverb send here. This is Valhalla Supermassive, an amazing free reverb plugin, especially great for long reverbs. And then we have this reverb send that cuts the reverb out while the piano is playing, so that the piano has a lot more, so you can hear the piano more clearly. And the reverb is just kind of a background element that just fills up the space. That's a very good trick to make sure that your reverbs aren't, overpowering, being able to hear the dry sound. So I did that for the vocals as well. We have a reverb send that all the vocals travel to at different amounts. So when the second verse comes in, we have these strings that come in that bring so much emotional impact to this verse. So these strings are from Labs, from Spitfire Audio. I'm pretty sure this is free, and it has tons of different organic sounds that sound amazing. These strings, these are the same strings, these long strings that I split up into 3 different parts so that I could have, a mono strings, which were cellos, like imitate cellos, imitate the violas that are mids, and then violins, which are a lot wider. I wanted to create a more stereo image, more realistic strings. And then I also have this more melodic element of strings in here. This is cello moods, and I just plugged the same chords that I did for the violas, and it kind of plays this more melodic, emotional thing. So I just layered that with the other strings. And it sounds absolutely amazing, so that's great. And then there's this bass and lead that come in, which my roommate Bradley did for me, cutting out the 500, adding lots of saturation to make sure the bass comes through in the mix, cutting out more 500 hertz here so that it doesn't clash with any other mid instruments. And then a reverse piano into the build, which just hits you with a ton of emotion, and really wide reverbed out vocals, which are just bring a lot more emotional impact as well. And this beautiful lead that's reverbed out, lots of processing saturation on this. This is what it sounded beforehand. I wanted it to sit above everything else. That's what's really bright in the mix. So I want to switch and talk a little bit about vocals real quick. So the way that I do my vocals is, I'm not a very good singer, so I usually go over the same line over and over until I can get it right, and then I'll move on to the next one instead of singing maybe a few lines and then, you know, picking parts from that. I like to just go over the same line over and over till I get it right, and I can fine-tune little pieces of it. And so once I get the right one, I balance the levels of all of them and bring it into Melodyne. And I process each of these vocals differently because I tune and compress them differently depending on where they are in the song. And I can also EQ them differently, so that's why I choose to do it that way. So I started off by giving them a little bit of global tuning, and then about like 30%, and then fix some timing issues, fix the loudness by about 40 to 50%. And then I go through and fine tune vocals that are maybe a little bit too sharp or flat, try to bring them within around 10 to 12 cents. And that seems to do the trick for this song, where they didn't seem too out of tune, but they didn't feel like they were, you know, auto-tuned or anything like that. Then I added some EQ. 400 hertz is about where my voice sounds the most nasally. Cut out the low end, cut out some harshness in the 3 to 4 kilohertz range. And I ended up bringing back some highs in some of the vocals as well. Then do some de-essing here on the high end. And then I do some glue compression in Maximus. Just some slight compression on all the different frequency bands. And then finally cap it off with some overall compression. And the thing that really brings the vocals together is the reverb, which I use Valhalla Supermassive again. And I have different reverb sends here that cut out the reverb when the vocal is singing to make the vocal come out more clearly. And then there's also this harmony that comes in during the verse, which my lovely girlfriend sang for me. Tune those a little bit more. You want to tune your harmonies a little bit more because they're just supporting. And similar processing for all the different vocals. After doing this song for a while, I thought the song might, since it's sang on the same chord progression, it was getting a little bit repetitive. So I decided to add in this whole kind of melodic change up of the song after the chorus you can listen to here. So kind of is like a huge switch up, but it works because it has this like angry feel, which, you know, it's something that a lot of people deal with in grief, which is what the song's about. And then we have this rain and ambience that I recorded that come in with this reverb, a little bit more reverby piano in the third verse. This is supposed to be a little bit more of a sad part. So part of me thought about ending the song here with this part, but then I was like, you know, how about I make it just like other songs where it goes back to the chorus. So I had it fade back here and just hit with this super ethereal version of the second chorus. So there's this backwards piano in here that I cut up in a different session. I reversed the original piano and made it so it followed the same melody, and so it still felt like it was in time. And I added in more variety by doing the second chorus in my head voice. And then we have the reverse piano come back in and bring the song full circle. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of my song. Maybe it gave you some interesting insights into how I make my music, and maybe you learned something as well. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.